Welcome to On This Day in Tudor History with me, Claire Ridgway. Now today I'm taking you back to the reign of Queen Mary I. For on this day in Tudor history, the 13th of October 1553, Queen Mary I wrote to the imperial ambassador Simon Renard. She wrote, "Sir, if it were not too much trouble for you, and if you were to find it convenient to do so without the knowledge of your colleagues, I would willingly speak to you in private this evening, as you four are to come tomorrow. Nevertheless, I remit my request to your prudence and discretion. Written in haste, as it well appears this morning, the 13th of October, your good friend Mary." It's an interesting letter because Mary wants to speak to Renard secretly, without the knowledge of his colleagues. Why? What was going on? In her biography of Mary I, historian Anna Whitelock explains how Renard had an unprecedented role as secret counsellor and confidant to the new queen, and that he'd built on Mary's close relationship with her cousin Emperor Charles V, whom Mary trusted and whom she addressed in letters as her very dear and well-beloved good brother. It appears that Mary trusted the emperor and his ambassadors more than her own counsel and advisers. On the 23rd of September 1553, the imperial ambassadors had written to the empress saying she could not trust her council too much, well knowing the particular character of its members, and describing how they'd visited the queen secretly, passing through the park and a garden, unperceived by anybody except for two of her servants and Dame Clarence, whom she trusts. And Anna Whitelock describes how Mary encouraged Renard to come to her in disguise and after dark, and notes how unusual it was for a monarch to consult a foreign ambassador in secret about affairs of the realm. But it's not surprising that Mary had a good relationship with Charles V and his ambassadors. They'd been her support in dark times, such as when her father put pressure on her to accept his supremacy and her illegitimacy back in 1536. And when she felt threatened during Edward VI's reign in 1550, when she was in trouble for celebrating the Mass. It had been the Emperor and his ambassadors who'd come up with a plan for her to flee England by sea. Mary got cold feet and didn't go ahead with the escape plan, but the Emperor had fully supported her and protected her. Charles always had her back, and ambassadors like Eustace Chapuis had been good friends and perhaps even father figures to Mary. And now here Mary was, queen in her own right, but she knew how fickle men could be. She'd seen privy councillors betray Lady Jane Grey and change sides to Mary just a few months earlier. She was also thinking of marriage, and it was the emperor she turned to for help as the man she trusted. She wanted to make a match that he'd agree with, and it was marriage that she was discussing with his ambassadors in secret, knowing that her English councillors might not be supportive of her ideas. Her plans to marry the emperor's son, Philip of Spain, were met with opposition from some and even led to Wyatt's rebellion in early 1554. There was concern that England might become just another of Philip's territories and that he'd involve England in his war and use the treasury to fund his campaigns. Many preferred the idea of an English consort for Mary, but Mary trusted the emperor and she put her foot down. She was able to rally support against Wyatt's rebellion and marry her choice of man. She was a determined lady. Also on this day in Tudor history, the 13th of October 1549, King Edward VI's council abolished his uncle Edward Seymour's protectorate and membership of the council. It was the beginning of the end for Seymour, and you can find out what he'd done to provoke his downfall and what happened next in last year's video. You'll find a link to that in the description. Now, you can subscribe to this channel by clicking round about there, and please do, it's very helpful if you do. You can also hit the bell to be notified as these videos go live, and give me a like and leave me a comment. I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.